Hi, welcome to the White Oak Library District's latest Take and Make, where you will learn how to make your very own Ted Lasso Believe sign. So your craft kit will contain a wooden board, a Believe stencil, some sandpaper, some blue paint, yellow paint, and 4 bottle caps. You will need to have a paintbrush, small rag or paper towel or something to wipe off a little bit of dust. I also have a small paintbrush in case I need to do any touch-up. I also have a little pick in case I need a little help getting some of the stencil off. You could use tweezers or tip of a knife, something like that. Paintbrush if I didn't say that. And then something like a library card or a credit card or your driver's license to help when we are putting the stencil on. So I think perhaps you might be questioning about the bottle caps. And it's just something, we have these laying around here at the library. And it just gives you a little easier painting surface. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your paintbrush, your board, your little risers. You're going to want something to cover your work surface and the yellow paint. So with the yellow paint, you're going to put on medium thin coats. I'm going to do several coats, so and it's always better, particularly to get the project done, to do thinner coats rather than thick coats. This project takes, it's not a super long project in terms of actual work, but it is a little time consuming because you have to wait so for the paint to dry. So, and I did the sides as well. They don't take the paint super well because of the wood and the edging there. It has like this color on it. But you can see it's easy to do. All right, so when you're all done with your first coat, you're going to set it aside. And go ahead and use that paper bag, the plastic bag you got. Stick your paintbrush in. Wrap it up. That way it'll be still ready to use for the next coat. Okay, so you let it dry. Maybe about 30 minutes. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on how thin your coat is. Go ahead and do this. Right, then you're gonna have your dry paint. And because this is a water-based paint, it causes the grain of the wood to rise. And that's why you need to just lightly sand it. And you'll be able to feel. You don't have to do you really only need to do it after your first coat. And that's when you're going to take a cloth or a paper towel and you're going to wipe this off to make sure you get all the sanding dust off. However, I've already done that, and here is my double coated wood. You could actually maybe use a third coat, but we're going to go ahead and use this. So up to now, it's all been pretty easy peasy. And this may look difficult, but it's still going to be easy peasy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the paper off the stencil. And let me back up. This stencil has 3 layers. The top layer is this clear grid marked paper. The middle layer is the blue stencil. And the third layer is the backing that sticks to the clear white on the top. So it's a sandwich. So you're going to peel off the back layer. And you particularly want to be careful because, flip it over. The bee has 2 center things that need to be in there. So as I'm peeling it off, I want to make sure that those stick. Or here, I'm getting my E off. In other words, when you peel this paper off, it will be white. There's not going to be any blue on there. If there's any blue, you need to figure out where that came from and put it back. And then also with this, it kind of popped up a little bit. So this clear is basically contact paper. So I just want to pump that down. Now, I've already gotten a little bit of a mess there because I didn't wash my hands with the yellow paint. So there's a little bit of powdery yellow, which I don't think is going to be a problem. So we're going to take our stencil and we're going to put it on our sign. I'm going to center it. And then I don't have it with me, but you're going to use your hand first to push it down, and then you're going to use your credit card or your library card or your driver's license or something like that to push down. You start from the center and you go outwards. So let's see if I have anything here I can use. I'm going to use my paintbrush. Okay, so I'm going to, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make the blue stencil stick really, really well to my board. Particularly, the most important areas are going to be the letters, because if those are loose, the paint is going to get under them. And it's going to bleed, and you're going to have to spend some time and effort trying to fix that. And the stencil is not reusable. All right, so I think I have it pretty good. I think I can get a little better with my nail because I can see it changes color a little bit. It gets a little darker the tighter it gets. All right, now we need to take off the top layer, this clear piece. So I'm gonna tack that down really good. And just carefully peel it back. And again, we want to be careful here around the bee. We want to make sure that that is nicely on. All right, and we're done with that. Now you might, it's up to you if you want to do just a little more rubbing. Just be careful because you don't want to accidentally peel up any of the sides. So you no longer need your bottle caps. You can just leave it on your paper. So if you have never stenciled before, stenciling, you do more of a patting, of a jabbing. If you really want to do it, you can get a special sponge, or you can use a sponge, or you can use a makeup sponge. But I have found for this, just using, and this is a very, very cheap brush, just using it and dabbing it on. So you can see all the steps have been pretty short in terms of the time it takes to do them. You just need a little bit of time where you can have this out so you can work on it when it's ready. All right, so you can see how I've just dabbed it on. When it dries, take a look. You might decide it needs a second coat, so then you can go ahead and do a second coat, but wait until it's all dry. If you see like some yellow behind or anything, do that second step. Now we're ready for the big reveal. have, this is called a pick tool that you use for things like stencils. But you can use toothpick, you can use probably tweezers or the tip of a knife. Okay, and we'll again carefully pick a corner and start pulling it up. And this time I'm not going to care that the center of my bee is not coming up with my stencil. So we want to be careful because we don't want to chip the blue paint if we can avoid it. So obviously I can go ahead and chip it on top of the stencil. You want to be careful. So I do believe we are done. If for some reason it bleeds a little bit, you can always take a small paintbrush and carefully, paint the yellow. You'll have to do a couple of thin coats. Likewise, if something on your letters don't work right, go ahead and use the blue with with a small paintbrush and using thin coats. But that is that. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you had fun with it, and I hope your project is something that makes you believe. Be sure to check out the White Oak Library District's YouTube channel for more fun crafts.